Hello, welcome to Kubernetes Deployment Series, Part 16. In this series, we are going to learn how to use Argo CD for deploying microservices into Minikube cluster. As continue to our previous session, we have already learned how we can deploy the microservices using the manifest, single manifest, and configuring it with the applications as application and deployed here. So here we can see our applications are running and the services, deployments, and the replica set, everything is running. We have also seen that the all the services we can see everything is running. And here we can observe the image it is using storefront v1 for the storefront service, and this is taking from the Docker hub. So since Argo Seed is it's a uh, pull approach. It is always check the GitHub repository for any changes, and if there is any change, it will pull that, and that changes it will apply to the AKS cluster. So, in order uh, to prove that how it happens, so what we can do, let let us change one of the service and redeploy as a new my Docker image into the Docker hub. Then we'll see how it is reflecting that changes by using the Argo CD into the cluster. So for that, let me change this one with some new value. Like let me use Argo CD. For example, I have just modified this. Okay. Then after that, I need to build this one. So let me build this storefront. For building this, I can use this command docker build. It will take few minutes to build this image, and once that completes, then we'll tag it to the docker of my user id with the version v1. No, we'll change it to version v2 in this case. Let me do these changes and tag it. After that, again we have to push into the docker hub. So let me just copy this, and once that this is done, then we will tag it. And after the tag, we need to push it into the docker hub. The Docker build completes now. You can see here. Next, we'll tag it with version v2. Then let's push it into the Docker Hub. Yes, it's done. Now we can, if we'll go to Docker Hub, you can see that should available now in my Docker Hub storefront. Just now we have pushed this Docker Hub for storefront. If we come inside, we can see we have this B2 is available less than 1 day, 1 minute before I just pushed it. Okay, so this is done. Now the next step what we have to do is in our deployment. Okay, uh, in our deployment repository, we are we have already deployed this single manifest, and here we have this storefront deployment uh, storefront that we have just changed it. Okay, we have changed it to version b2. So just I save this and let me commit this new version v2. I have committed this, then I'll push it. So once I push this, then since we have deployed this Argo CD, that application in Argo CD as automatic pull, so it should sync this automatically. Okay, now if we go to application, yeah, you can see here out of sync, now syncing. It shows synced, and still process is going on. Okay, so now in order to check whether it took the latest version, I mean the image version v2 or not, for the storefront application, that we can see here by coming. Let me again get the pod here. Now you can see here uh, one there are two pod. One is completed, I mean it shows completed, and one is running. Okay, so now this is the pod. We can use this and we'll check whether it took the latest image version or not. So for that we can describe the describe pod. Pod name is storefront, and namespace is default. And here if we go to the image here, image id, you can see here v2. Okay, it took the image what we have changed. So this is the main advantage of using Argo CD. Argo CD. So it is the Git is the source of truth. Okay, so whatever we change in the Git repository, the Argo CD automatically pull that and deploy it into the AKS cluster. Okay, so this is the main purpose of using GitOps. So here our manifest, whatever manifest we are using, that we are keeping in the repository, and using that always the Argo CD monitor it, and if there is any changes, then it will pull that changes and deploy it into the AKS cluster. Okay, so this this is done. Next, what we are going to deploy. So in this case, we have only deployed a single manifest. Suppose you want to deploy the services individually. Okay, so how, not manifest, multi, yeah, we'll take the multi manifest. And if you want to deploy individually, that how we can do that, we'll see. Okay, okay, now let deploy the multi manifest YAML files that include the different services. So for that, in Argo CD, I have created one namespace as multi manifest, and using that, I have already created this config, order, and product limit message queue. So to save some time, only I'll create the other one, that storefront, for this. So this is another application. Let's select the default project, make it automatic, and URL. This is our source of truth. and the path is multi manifest, and the name of the service is store front. So this is nothing the path in our repository, and this is our cluster, and we'll keep this name as multi manifest to just to segregate and to check whether it all the different manifests are deployed or not. Okay, let's create this. Okay, it started syncing. Now we can see this is still in progress, but if we come to the command line and try to get the pod for namespace this multi manifest, so we can see there are it is running, the pods are running. Okay, and yeah, so this is so for this you can see, like, if you our application, I mean our project contains multiple applications or microservices, then we can individually deploy them as separate application here. And also we have done it in another way, in single manifest. In single manifest, if you see, it includes all the services, right? So 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 it is like, depending upon our requirement, we can select how we'll keep our manifest. Now if you go inside of any of the service, you can see all the replica set, deployments, and the pod. Okay, that is running. So these are the two ways we see how the raw um, manifests we can deploy. Now let's try with Helm Chart. Okay, so for that I have already created a namespace as Helm Chart, single Helm Chart. So in order to deploy this, let's create another application, and the application name will give, let make it single Helm Chart. Okay, or we can make it online app. Okay, name default, let's sync it automatically. Source will the repository have, path is nothing, we'll mention this single Helm Chart. Okay, now this is our cluster, and here we'll take single Helm Chart as our namespace, where it will going to deploy our microservices. Okay, now here we can see it also asking for the values.yaml file, so we need to provide this values.yaml file. Okay, now create this. Okay, now if we go to our namespaces here, we have created single Helm Chart, right? And let this select, sorry, deselect this. So here you can see it is trying to create. So under this Helm Chart, if you see, I'm using a single Helm Chart here, and that contains all the services, manifest of all the services. So here it is creating the manifests, I mean all the microservices belong to that manifest. So if we go and check this one here, and we'll see the namespace is single Helm Chart, we can see it is created all the services and displaying here. Okay, so this is also the one way you can do, and the other is multi Helm Chart, right? So that also we can see how we can do it. We can separately, we can provide this path, and we'll try to deploy it. Okay, now come to application again, create new application, give it name as config, project name default, automatic, and then source is this, and path is here, we have to mention multi Helm Chart, and this is for config deployment. Okay, Helm Chart config deployment, and cluster we have to select this one. Namespace, let use multi Helm Chart, this is another Helm Chart, sorry, namespace. Okay, then that's all, let's create it. Okay, it is not taking this one. What we multi is correct, this namespace is there. Okay, let me give its name one, for example. Yeah, so it is not taking the same name because we have already created one application with config. So for that we'll give some other name. So for that, let's go to my multi Helm Chart, and we can see config one is created and it's synced. Okay, now create another one, and here I'll give order one as well because order is already exist. Project name default automatic, this path can give Helm chart, and here order. Okay, we'll keep this one. The you can see this is the path multi order service we are going to create now. Then this one namespace will use multi Helm chart. Okay, values will provide this one create. Now it is getting sync. Let me create another one. uh, Rabbit message queue, give it one because it is already exist. Then path will select this. Here we'll use rabbit message queue, and namespace will use this one. Okay, and values will take values.yaml, create it. Okay, now create the product one, and let's select automatic path. URL will provide this, path should be this, and here product will select the cluster this, and we'll use the same namespace here, and the values will use this one create. The last one will be our storefront. This is storefront one project automatic. Then we'll use storefront okay, that's all. We have to select this. Then namespace will use multi Helm chart, and values.yaml file we have to provide here as parameter. Okay, now create it. Order one product only. Why it's not created? We gave some other namespace. Okay, by mistake I have selected this one. In Okay, let me create it again in this namespace. Okay, rabbit message q2 project default automatic, this one path rabbit message q, and namespace will put this one. Okay, and we'll see values this create it. Oh sorry, it came here again. Okay, now you can see what is missing here. Config order product storefront is not there. Okay, so there are two rabbit message queue. Let me delete this one here. Rabbit message queue 2. Let it delete. So here we have not created the storefront, maybe, or it is taking. Let me refresh it again. So here rabbit message queue and it's getting deleted, this one. Okay, let's create storefront again. Storefront true default automatic, so and then this is our path. Storefront path we have to provide here, this one, and namespace this one. Okay, and values.yaml create it. Now it is getting created, you can see here. Okay, this rabbit message queue out of sync it again. Okay, let's go to the application, and let me check the multi. Okay, you can see here all are green. I think it all created. Now let's go to the command line and check whether these pods are created or not. Let's provide this multi Helm chart namespace. You can see it is all working here. I mean, all the pods are created. Okay, so this is like the other way. We can also use single Helm chart, or we can use also multi Helm chart. Similarly, if we can use multi environment Helm chart, where we can pass any of the values you can see here, right? We can use dev values.yaml or prod values.yaml, test values.yaml. So while it will asking the values, we can pass any of these and it will deploy to that particular environment. So this way also we can um, test. And the other one is uh, customize manifest. So we have discussed like how we can use customize to deploy the applications into multiple environments. So that also we can do here by specifying, for example, if we want to deploy order service, then we have to select which environment we have to deploy. That let us check it now. Okay, uh, so this is our path. Okay, I think there is a namespace already created. Let me just check. Okay, create namespace. This is already there. Okay, now let me create new space, new application. So here let us create a for prod environment. Okay, we'll try to deploy only to the prod environment. For that, let me check. Only I'll just give a subscript like this: pconfig, that is for product environment, and I'll select automatic as usual. Go to namespace path. What we have to put is this. This is customize manifest, and I'll mention config config. Okay, then I'll select this. Then I'll select the namespace. This one. Okay, okay, so here I'll not for config. What we can see here is we are using customize manifest, right? In config we have base. Under base we have this manifest. So I need to mention config then base. Okay, okay, so we don't have any environment for this. Base is common for all, so I'll use this one, base, and let me create it. Let me select the customer version. Deselect this one. Okay, now it is got created. Similarly, I'll use product for rabbit message queue. Rabbit message queue, then default automatic URL, and path I'll use this. Then I'll use for product, what I have to do is I'll use a rabbit message queue. Then I have to select overlay, then prod. Okay, you can see the structure here. If you go here and check rabbit message queue, then overlays, then prod. So what we have to do, overlays here. Okay, overlays. This is rabbit mq, correct? So yeah, that is done. URL we have to take. This is cluster URL. Namespace. I'll take this one. Okay, this is for customize. Okay, you can see it shows customize and some information it shows. Now not bother about that. Let's create it. So it is getting created. Now let's create the other one. Uh, let's create order. P order, that is for product. This one, select this, same. Go to this path. I'll take here order, then overlays, then I'll take prod. So here we are only creating for the prod environment. If you want to dev test, that also you can do. Okay, and namespace I'll take this. Okay, so it's correct. Let's create it. Next new application. Then we'll take product, p product. project name, default, automatic, then this path we can provide. This is our path, then product, then overlays, product, then overlays, then prod. Yep, it's correct. Then let's go to this namespace. We'll select this one. Okay, create it. Next, the last one we have to create is storefront. P storefront default automatic. This. Then here we'll take rs2 storefront, then overlays, storefront, then overlays, then prod. Okay, now go to select this cluster and the namespace. Okay, create. Okay, you can see here here our okay. So customize manifest. Okay, now it got created. It took some time. So you can see here it is getting created, and so what we can see if you go to one of these, right? Uh, Here we can see here prod, right? You can see three instances. Prod has the replicas are three. Okay, this is what prod at the moment, as we have mentioned in our prod, right? If you go and overlays prod, you can see here we have mentioned the replica 3. It is for prod also. You can see if you go to overlays, and you can see replica is 3. That's why it is deploying 3 uh, pods for those services. Okay, so what we came to know that uh, this what we have deployed, it is for a prod environment, and similarly if we want to deploy into dev, that we can also do. But during that time, for each of the service we need to select the overlays dev or test. Okay, as for the environment what we are going to, where we are going to deploy. Okay, so that way that is done. I mean, mm, here we discussed how we can use the manifest as a single manifest that include all the services, or it may be multi manifest with different separate manifest for each of the individual service. And also we can use deploy it as a single Helm chart that include our whatever services we are using, for it include all the manifest for each of the services. Or it may be our multi Helm chart and individual Helm chart that contains the individual Helm chart for the services. And also we deploy it like using a customize. Okay, using customize also we try to deploy into a broader environment that we can do for other environments as well. Okay, and one more thing we need to check here is, um, suppose we want to manually change something. Okay, suppose we want to deploy, modify something. Okay, suppose we want to, okay, go to the deployment, for example. Okay, get get deployments minus a, get deployments. Okay, now you can see we have a deployment here, right? So if you want to change anything here, for example, you have to change the replica, right? So for that, what we can use the command. Let me find out the command. I have used this. Okay, we can use like this, scale deployment and replica. Okay, for example, we can do here k scale deployment. Let change this deployment. Okay, replica, something correct, replica equal to 5. Okay, scale deployment is equal to 10, for example. And namespace is, what is the namespace we have used here? Customize manifest. Okay, a replica. What is the name? Minus minus. Okay, I did mistake. There is no space. Okay, now deployment scaled, and we did it for the storefront. Okay, and you can see for product environment there are only 3 replicas. Now it should be, if you go to storefront, and you can see here how many replicas it created. It will create 10, and it will create these 3, but it will be go out of sync. Okay, it will indicate that it is out of sync because in our repository it is only mentioned 3. Okay, so this way, if you go here, you can see all the other services are green, but the storefront now it is out of sync because we have manually changed it, and it is creating multiple pods. So in order to avoid this, if you want to again back to that, simply you can sync this one. Okay, if you sync it, then it will again back to the 3 pod. It will come back to 3 pod. It will take few seconds to back again to the normal. It's processing still. Sync and check it. Yeah, it will take some time. If we go to the see the pod here, right? You can see it is now it came. Yeah, it is. Now you can see it is 3 now. Okay. Okay, so we learned how to deploy microservices using Argo CD interface. In the next lab, we learn how we can do that using the manifest configuration file to create the applications and deploy into a case cluster. Uh, if you have any comments, suggestion, let me know. Please subscribe the channel and share it to others. Thank you so much. Bye bye till then.